Can we talk about something real quick? So, I went to see the Michael Jackson movie, which I really enjoyed. I really liked it. I've been watching the actors that played the characters, the child version of Michael and the adult version of Michael, and I really liked the way the characters were portrayed, the father, how he was portrayed. The makeup was awesome. The way they did the facial features of the father was really magical. And he looked exactly like his father. I also liked how well the nephew of Michael Jackson did in portraying Michael. He was so exact in his movements and his voice. I think the voice was the best part about it because the way Michael speaks is a very unique voice. And the lightness of his voice, the softness of his voice is very unique. And he was able to capture that so well. And I really appreciate it because I felt like I was watching the real Michael because of the voice. Throughout the whole movie, just the voice alone had me where I thought I was watching the real Michael Jackson. And then the dancing came in second, but I think the voice was the real giveaway. I think his voice is so unique. It's not an everyday voice. So that really stood out to me. This movie was about his origin story and how he became who he was. And I really liked how they showed his mindset, how they showed he wanted to be a light, how he wanted to be mysterious. He wanted to let his light shine, but he also wanted to be mysterious. He didn't want to be overwatering, like watering down his presence. So he wanted his presence to be impactful through his albums, and his albums were always high tier and very well thought out. I liked also that they did explain his childhood and the environment he was in, where his dad was very hard on him, very perfectionist, and a hardworking man that worked his kids to the ground. And he showed his work ethic came from that past, and also that his work ethic came from his own creativity. His creativity through his people, his role models, like Fred Astaire. I noticed they showed him watching his dancing and singing in the rain. And then also how he took elements of things he liked, such as zombies and watching a show with zombies and what was it, Dracula or something? And how he used that in Thriller with the zombie like dancing and the whole scenario and storyline in the music video of Thriller. And he used things he liked. And then he also used things that bothered him. So when he did the song Beat It, that came from history and the time where gang violence was very prevalent with the Crips and the Bloods and all these things. And they were like rivalries. And so he wanted to bring people together through music. I really appreciated his heart towards bringing people together, and I like that was his goal, and he showed that through the music and the music video. And music and dance can bring people together. I also liked how he had his friends. His friends were his animals, his giraffe, his chimpanzee, Bubbles, and his snake and his rat. And he always had someone to talk to, his llama. He always had these animals that he could talk to and express himself to. And I thought that was really cool to show that you can find alternative friends if you don't have the traditional people friends, or he realized that people don't treat him the same in his peer group. They're always just gawking at him or asking for an autograph or taking a picture. And he kind of just wanted to be a regular person. And I like that they showed that he just wants to be a regular person, but he also loves his fans. When he was burned during a rehearsal, I believe it was, and his hair got burned, and he was still waving to his fans while he was on the ambulance stretcher going to the hospital. He was still waving to his fans because he cared about his fans. And then when he was in the hospital, his heart went out to the burn unit, that he decided to give money to the children in the burn unit and the patients in the burn unit. And his heart is always showing by his actions. And I think behavior is the highest form of communication, which was he was showing what he believed in, what he stood for. And a lot of his songs show what he stands for, what he believes in. It's not about black or white. He always went into topics of race or, yeah, like political factors and gang violence. He would try to bring people together on a warm front, even heal the world and make it a better place. That's another song, trying to bring people together and be a light. And I think when you can use music to bring people together, that's a high form of leadership, a high form of compassion for the world and putting the world in a better spot than the way you found it. And he made the world better because of his music, because it brought us together on a common theme. And I like the way they showed in his beginnings how he had on his mirror all these stickers, these post-it notes of affirmations. I wanted to read all of them, but I couldn't see it everything that quickly because the camera spanned over his stickers on his mirror of affirmations. And I have one that I have on my mirror near my mirror in my bathroom too. So I was like, oh, he does that too. I thought that was really cool that they showed that. And then he gets a lot of ideas, and so he puts them on index cards. And I thought it was really nice the way they showed his process of creation of song lyrics and song ideas and how it came about through mapping it with index cards on the wall and figuring out what's going to be the title of this piece. What are we going to call it? And then he came up with the title Thriller. And I just like the creative behind the scenes process of coming up with ideas and how he did the directing of the Thriller music video, and he wanted to show the feet movement, and he really wanted to direct what people pay attention to based on what he thought was important. And he said you should always look at the feet, show the feet. And I thought that was really cool, very iconic of him. And I liked how it ended on the note of him separating himself from the group dynamic of being just a family duo and more of he wants to be his own person. And the last song that the movie ended on was I'm Bad, which I thought was so clever. That was the ending of the movie, I'm Bad. And that's one of my favorite songs. The attitude is so high tier, it's so edgy. I love that song so much. It's very edgy. And the fact that he had taken some sort of actions before that song came to be, which really solidifies his stance, I thought was really strong and really clever. And I just liked the way that was done. I also liked just they highlighted the different moments that he wanted to separate himself from the his father who was being domineering and exploiting him. And he knew that. He was just trying to figure out how does he handle it because his personality was like, he doesn't listen to me. I can't fight with my dad. But he got other people to help him. He got a new person to be on his side. And I just thought he was very smart and very clever, emotionally intelligent in how he handled things. And I also admired his wanting to be mysterious as well. And also how he separated himself from his dad by getting his surgery on his nose and just kind of responding to what he didn't like and making a change. I thought that was pretty proactive of him. I didn't understand all of it in the past, but seeing it in the movie, that was part of the situation, being picked on about it and then deciding, okay, I'm going to make a change on it. So he decided to get his nose smaller and whatever makes him happy. And then he did what he felt he needed to do. So I liked that it was about the growth of his character, separating himself from an environment that was kind of bringing him down, and he was realizing who he was and getting self actualization. And it was the growth of self actualizing himself to who he truly was, and as an artist, as a dancer, as an entertainer, and on his own terms and with his own creativity because he had his own creativity all by himself, but it was stifled by his dad, by his family. He had to be in a box for them, but he wanted to do his own path. And so he had to separate himself from the group dynamic. So I liked that about the storyline. And he finally got that in the end of the movie is I'm Bad. So cool. And I like that he had all his animal friends, his giraffe, his chimpanzee, his rat. Oh, he had his llama, and he had his friend. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what I liked about the movie. the growth, personal growth that it showed, and also how he helps nurture his own mind with affirmations and his creative processes and his work ethic and his creativity, of course.